Hitting that intro in a 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round By Podcast, accompanied by my boy, Mr. Soss.
What is going on, one and all? Welcome to yet another monumental, exciting episode. It actually is
I'm
exciting.
excited about this one.
Yeah.
So don't mean to cut you off, but the AFC, NFC Championship games are out of the way. We have winners. Super excited to talk about this episode. We'll kind of go back and forth on our
Yes.
thoughts on both games today. We'll kind of save a little bit of like the Super Bowl talk and the matchup for another episode later on the week. Kind of just really wanted to focus on these two games today.
Oh,
Steve,
yeah.
how do you wanna proceed with this one?
So first off, let's talk about let's leave the best for last, because we always want to make sure everybody watches this till the very end. And don't you be skipping. Don't you skip. We can see when you skip. Actually, we can't see when you skip. I'm sure there's a way to see it. But so the first matchup that I wanted to talk about was that that NFC title game. I don't know about you, so whenever I came into that, I'm sure everybody was having the expectations of wanting to have, everybody wanted the Commanders to win. It was supposed to be like one of those like feel good stories, especially since Jaden Daniels is just absolutely insane. But I had a feeling that what transpired today was going to transpire, because man, they just met that hacksaw that was the Eagles. And what's nuts about it is that I don't even honestly think that the Eagles played super, super well.
Well, it's not that. Well, I do think they played well, first and foremost. I mean, they freaking put up 55 points, but the biggest question mark right now, and that there's so many different like topics that I want to touch on this video that I hope I don't forget them all. But the one thing that stood out is how non-existent the Washington defense was.
Yep.
And how existent the Eagles defense was. So both offenses came in super explosive. I mean, Jaden Daniels had his moment in the game. Jalen Hurts, of course, Saquon Barkley had their moments, but the team that was able to stop the other team from scoring points was obviously the one that advanced, correct? But that kind of just goes to show how important defenses are in football, and kind of what you said last episode, defenses win championships.
They do. And
super excited for this next matchup, as I feel like this is a pretty even playing field for both teams on the offense and the defense. But shout out to the Commanders. They weren't even supposed to be a Super Bowl team. They were supposed to just improve from the year before. They got a new GM, obviously rookie quarterback. They weren't even supposed to make it this far. So for them to be here and did what they did, it was still a phenomenal season. And really only up from here, really. But shout out to the Commanders.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. They actually, I was really proud of how they played, but at the end of the day, man, Washington is actually, they're still. They reminded the whole football world that they are still in a rebuild mode.
Oh yeah,
they don't have the horses to be able to keep up. But I was hoping that it was going to be a little bit closer of a game, just because of the fact that like they're division rivals too. Yeah. And so normally, whenever it's a division rival, you get a little bit more fight out of it. Like it's a much closer game. But like you touched on, the Eagles, they just have so much more talent. Like, okay, so on the Commanders, other than Jaden Daniels, who do you fear the most on that offense?
Probably Terry, Scary Terry. I think that's the only, and I wouldn't even call him like a superstar just yet.
No, definitely not.
He's on the verge of becoming, one of the next, top 6 or whatever wide receivers. As long as he can keep producing. He has a franchise quarterback at his disposal. So he's only going to keep getting better as the years go by. So I'm really excited to watch his development. But they really need more help from different receivers, as well as the running game. The running game wasn't as good, obviously, as the Eagles. But, shout out to the Eagles, man. 7 rushing touchdowns. Are you kidding me? What a game.
That is insane. Yeah, and, shout out to, I was jokingly calling him Saquon. Mr. Saquon Barkley, dude. that dude is just absolutely nasty. He is
Hmm.
absolutely nasty. And in my opinion today, so I was looking through a couple of message boards and forums and stuff throughout the day, like which is what I normally do. I like to get other football perspectives while I'm watching football and everything, to either confirm or deny what I'm seeing and stuff. And one of the things that was brought up was very, very interesting, and they said that this game confirms that Saquon is just. I know that we were talking about Saquon and Derrick Henry throughout the year as 1A and 1B, stuff like that. Well, we weren't talking on camera about that, but everybody has been discussing it. I think that with this performance, Saquon really he really elevated his own status and
Oh yeah, not
everything.
only that, but they're kind of because and I saw this on ESPN the other day too. They were talking about how like a couple of years or so ago, everybody was kind of saying how like the running back is devalued and
Yes.
you don't need a true RB1 to be successful in the league. So it's really fulfilling. It's really fulfilling for me to see, players like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and
Oh
and then
yeah.
even and we'll get to this in a minute, but even James Cook. He's elevating the game. B. John Robinson. We have a lot of great up and coming running backs that are freaking. They're gonna push the running back market up, I believe,
They
and
are.
even running backs that are coming in this new draft class. I mean, Cam Scattaboo, freaking Gene T. We have a lot of good running backs coming into the league. Super excited to see them work and kind
Hmm.
of show the world that hey, maybe you do need a true RB1. So we'll see.
So, out of curiosity, were you expecting the game today to be closer than it actually was, or
Yes,
did you expect the absolute blowout?
I didn't expect a blowout for sure. I did think it's going to be a little bit closer. I didn't
Hmm.
think it was going to come down to like a field goal or anything like that,
Right.
but I did think that it was probably going to be within like a one score, maybe two
Yeah.
score game.
Yep.
But little did I think that the freaking Eagles were going to score 55, go for 7 rushing touchdowns. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
It was a great game to watch as a
I
football
do
fan.
I do love. So my favorite part of that whole game was that very first Saquon touchdown. Oh my god, dude, he went literal beast mode, and as I was watching, I was just like, this is how the day is going to go. And at
Yeah.
that moment, I 100% knew, like, I could not foresee the Commanders stopping them at all
Yep.
whatsoever. But and to your point too, I also agree that Washington, they're honestly, they're only a few pieces away from really, really consistently, there's your word again, consistently contending. And
Hmm.
but and I will agree that Terry is probably the best offensive weapon that they have outside of Jaden Daniels. But I see him kind of like a Debo Samuel type
Uh-huh.
in
And
that.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I'm really excited to see what every team does in the draft this year. And I know I texted you earlier, and I was
Yeah,
telling you I'm excited as to who the Titans draft. Really, number one overall.
dude,
There's just so many options. Um,
they really
so
are.
many different needs at not every position, but at a lot of positions. So it'll be
Absolutely.
very interesting as to see how everything kind of falls and where some of these players go. And I could almost guarantee you Washington's probably gonna freaking select. Well, first and foremost, they do need help on that defense,
They
but they also
do.
need
Oh my god.
another. They need another piece on that to help complement Terry
Well, I'll tell you what
out in
though,
the.
they're in a really good spot now because they have
Hmm.
found their franchise quarterback, and once you find that franchise quarterback, everything gets a whole lot easier.
Agreed.
A whole lot easier. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next step for obviously the Eagles and everything. They have so much firepower on that offense, but one thing that I am a little concerned about, and what's going to be a big thing for moving forward, not only in the Super Bowl but just like in seasons ahead, is the play of Jalen Hurts. Like
Mm.
that dude, I honestly feel like in that offense, he might be the weakest link in
Yep.
that offense, and I mean, you'll be able to make it to big games. You'll be able to win big games and stuff, but he's going to have to step up. He's going to really have to
Hmm.
step up. Now, granted, I think that I didn't even look at the stat line, but I think that he himself had like 3 of the rushing touchdowns, didn't he?
Who are you talking about again? My apologies.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I think he did have about three of them, if I'm correct.
Yeah, because we all know how they like to use
Oh, he
him
had
and
two
stuff.
of them. No,
Well,
three. I'm
3.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
3, but still though, like I mean, yeah, we'll see how Jalen Hurts does. It does pain me again to see AJ Brown moving on and everything too, because man, I miss him on the Titans.
Agreed.
He was amazing. So, but shout out to the Eagles for winning and moving on, just like what we're about to do. Unless you have
Yeah,
something else.
so no, we can move on to the next one. So shout out to the Chiefs again, going to the Super Bowl. Definitely an exciting game. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I know in the previous episode,
Oh man.
I kind of knew the Chiefs were gonna win, but I was hopeful that the Bills would pull something out.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Josh Allen, man. He played lights out. Had a hell of a game. Made some good crucial throws. Had some
He
good
did.
runs.
He did.
James Cook. I know I spoke about James Cook earlier, but I feel like James Cook has next on elite running back skills. Yeah,
Yes.
he's not the same type of running back that Derrick Henry is or Saquon is. Those guys are more of like power running backs. You know, if you
Mm-hmm.
get in their way, they're gonna truck your ass. James Cook, it's more so is like he'll make you miss,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun to see. But I believe within the next couple of years, he'll definitely be at top five running back, which is exciting to see. So.
Yeah, no, he is phenomenal, and he is probably the I would say he's the unsung hero of that offense because we
Hmm.
all know that it runs through Josh Allen, but um, but I mean James Cook is still he's phenomenal because he can run, he can catch the ball and everything. He's a phenomenal player, and his ascension is it's awesome to see, especially since you can just definitely tell that like Josh Allen right now is helping elevate each one of those players because a lot of those players. I mean, I talked about it this last episode that man like Josh Allen is literally that offense. He is that team, and the way that he has been elevating and making them just that much better. He got them to the AFC title game. Like, I mean, now
Dude,
granted, I think I am kind of short selling some of these guys like Khalil Shakir, Mac Hollins, Kurt Samuel, some of the others, but I mean, we didn't really hear about them too much until Josh Allen started throwing them the ball.
no, and honestly, dude, like I was thinking the whole time, like Josh Allen, if freaking Patrick Mahomes didn't exist, this would be Josh Allen's league right now.
Yes.
He literally makes everybody around him so much better. Like I know we mentioned it before, is he doesn't really have like a true wide receiver one. He
Mm-hmm.
does have great talent at the receiver position, including his tight ends, but he doesn't have like a Travis Kelsey. He doesn't have. I'm even gonna throw in. I'm not saying Xavier Worthy is like a wide receiver one solidified,
Oh,
but he's on the rise.
he is
But
very much on the rise.
he doesn't have anybody like like the Chiefs have. So I think this kind of goes to prove that the Bills they do need a true wide receiver one. So I do think that they're probably going to select a wide receiver with their first overall pick or with their first round pick. I'm sorry. So I'm excited to see who they go after. But they definitely need to bolster up that offense receiving core. Someone that'll, you throw the ball up and it's 80% chance that old dude's gonna catch it,
Right.
So
Right.
instead of the 50-50 ball, it's a 80-20 ball type of deal. So
Right.
we'll see what they do in the draft to help improve that offense.
I'm really glad you brought that up because that was actually the point I was going to bring up this like right after you got done speaking your
Hmm.
piece because that's one of the biggest outliers that changed a lot of things. So if you unfortunately did not get a chance to watch that incredible game, like it's always fireworks whenever the Chiefs and the Bills play. Like it is always fireworks.
Wait. Before I forget too, and I've never really been one to be like, oh, the refs were on this team side or like on the Chiefs side,
Right.
because there's been a lot of talk of like, oh, the refs are always on the Chiefs side, this and
Mm-hmm.
that. I've always been kind of like, you guys are just hating, Like, don't get me wrong, there has been some missed calls here and there in some games, but I mean, there's always going to be those types of calls or
Mm-hmm.
non-calls in every game if you watch football, right? Like, the refs can't see everything. Granted, I know there's
Correct.
replay systems, but that's a different conversation. But anyway, there was that one call where I believe, yeah. So Xavier Worthy, he was like on the sideline. I think
Was it
he
that
brought the ball
interception?
down. Yes, no, it wasn't even an interception. It was an incomplete pass.
Yep.
The ball freaking touched the ground, and they
Mm-hmm.
counted it as a catch by Xavier Worthy, which was insane because they showed the angle of the freaking ball, and he didn't have possession of the ball. It was like juggling, and then it hit the ground.
Yep.
So it wasn't even a possession, and they gave that ball to the Chiefs, which I know I'm gonna be seeing that all over social media later on today or in the next few days. But it's kind of crazy how
It's whack.
some of
Yeah,
these
it's
calls
whack
are
is what it
going.
was. I always try to keep my cool whenever I'm watching a game and stuff, but sometimes stuff that's egregious like that, I'm just like how in the world, like, in my opinion, especially since you know that they all know what the stigma is regarding the refs and the Chiefs and everything, you would 100% think that they would try to combat that by, playing things a
Hmm.
little bit more fair and everything. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like it's $1 billion business. And they don't really give a shit.
Hmm.
But one thing that cracked me up was whenever I was watching the broadcast of it, um, it was Romo that was commentating, wasn't he?
Yeah, Romo and Jim Nance, I believe.
So Romo said something along the lines of, I bet they didn't overturn it because I mean they would have had to like look for the true spot of the call because there was a flag on the play and everything, and so
Hmm.
but they decline the flag or something, and so then obviously they'd want to throw in that penalty as well.
Hmm.
I might
Yeah.
be talking on my ass, but he was just basically saying that because it was muddying up the situation, he felt like the quote unquote correct call was to just call it like, oh no, we're not going to reverse this. But I 100% I was just like, well, that's an incomplete pass. That is an incomplete pass. He did not
Oh
establish
yeah.
control. Like,
Everybody saw it. Even if you're a Chiefs fan, there's no denying it. Like, run the replay if you can. Not, I'm just saying, if you can go watch it, because I mean that just was a crazy
oh,
call. There's no way
it
that was a
was
catch.
awful.
If that was a catch, then the Des Bryant catch versus the Packers, when was it, like 6 years ago or whatever
Yeah,
it was,
that's a catch.
maybe even longer, that's a catch. So the
Yeah.
whole like this is a catch, this isn't a catch. Everything needs reevaluating and kind of we need better replay systems whenever it comes to crucial catches like this because these are literally
100%.
game defining calls or non calls that
Exactly.
are happening. But I mean, besides the fact it was still a great game. Shout out to the Chiefs, like we said earlier. I'm really loving it. Like I said, as a real football fan, true football fan, I feel like not the Brady, the Mahomes, Josh Allen games are starting to become a lot like the Brady,
Oh
Peyton
yeah.
Manning games. They're like super exciting. They're always back and forth. Never a dull moment in these types of games. They always deliver. So I'm super excited to watch these two go head to head in future games.
So one thing that I was going to mention was that Josh Allen, I think that the one thing that he is missing that Mahomes has is obviously Mahomes has such a great chemistry with Travis Kelsey. He is missing that piece, like you said, that he knows can consistently come out. Because on that fourth down play, if he had somebody that was a little bit more consistent, then that drop was awful. Like
Yeah.
Kincaid he doesn't usually drop those. Like Kincaid was
Yeah.
highly drafted actually. He was a first round tight end pick.
Uh-huh.
Dude's nasty, but he doesn't have that pedigree. And unfortunately Josh Allen, and you can definitely tell like throughout the game. Now granted, Mac Hollins, he stepped up in a big way. And Shakir kind of did his thing, but Josh Allen just doesn't. He doesn't have those premier players to be able to really put his trust in, except for James Cook. James Cook is like that
Yeah.
one guy that he knows that he can toss the ball to, and he's gonna get some help. But it also kind of hurt them whenever it came crunch time because how many times did we see Josh Allen try to run and they got stuffed at the line? And
Hmm.
part of the reason why they were running it is because he's the only consistent guy that they got.
Yeah. One thing that I was literally just thinking about as you're talking right now, dude. is I think the best thing for the Bills to do this offseason is to trade, or I'm not sure, is Tyreek a free agent or do they need to trade for him?
I think that they
Because
need to
regardless,
no, his I think his contract
is
is up.
he might still be under contract, but whatever the case may be, they need to get Tyreek Hill in a Bills uniform.
Oh, that would be that'd
And
be so awful, man.
no, and the crazy thing is too is like the way that everything has been going as of late, like these past whatever 2, 3 playoffs, I guess,
Hmm.
is it's always the Chiefs versus the Bills some way somehow in there, right? So imagine they get Tyreek Hill, they play against the Chiefs, whether it be at the Bills or at the Chiefs, and then Tyreek Hill somehow some way grabs a freaking touchdown pass from Josh Allen to finally eliminate the Chiefs from the playoffs.
That'd be awesome. Oh,
No,
so I
dude, I
just looked
want
it
to
up.
see it.
I think it was last year that he signed a new 3-year deal.
Hmm.
Because remember in the offseason,
I think we talked
Jalen
about it. Yeah.
Waddle, he signed a deal, and then Tyreek Hill signed a deal afterwards. The thing was is that right after I think it was right after the regular season or right after the Dolphins got officially eliminated, Tyreek was like, "Get me out of here."
Yep. He was
So
like, "I'm done.
he is
I'm
trying to
done."
push himself out. So
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like the best possible landing spot for Tyreek Hill is the Bills. Like
all right,
he's
guys, you heard
still,
it here
in my
first. Tyreek
opinion,
Hill to the Bills.
Tyreek Hill to the Bills. I'm telling you, it literally makes the most sense. And the thing is, in my opinion, the way Tyreek Hill has been playing, he still has, I would say, 2, maybe 3 solid more years of elite performance.
Yeah,
So go grab him. Go grab him, Bills. Sean McDermott, you got to go
get on
grab
the
this man.
phone, man. Get on the phone. Well, the one thing that kind of bothered me too is that, man, I was so excited for Amari Cooper to the Bills, and what a friggin' letdown he was. Oh my gosh. Because I mean, everybody thought that they were getting a true wide receiver one, and then
Well,
he
the thing
just
that sucks.
kind of
Go ahead.
disappeared.
The thing that sucks, man, is I forgot what week it was, but I mean, it wasn't halfway through the season, but I mean, it was pretty close. So he didn't really have like a lot of time to kind of learn the playbook,
Right.
get that chemistry, so going into this new year, I'm not sure how his contract is again, but if he is indeed on the Bills this next coming year, I do foresee him having a much more productive year. So only time will tell. So we'll see.
Yeah. But I do think that Shakir is going to get some more looks because he's definitely earned them. That
Oh
dude's
yeah.
been he's been solid, if nothing else. But I really like him too, and I mean I became a big believer of Matt Collins today. That dude was catching big catch after big catch.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He was delivering for sure.
So
Excuse me.
you heard it here first, guys. Unfortunately, we got a repeat of Kansas City and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna, like I said before the show started, me and Steven were talking about it, and I'm not gonna talk too much about that because
Mm-mm.
we are gonna want to wait till the next episode to talk really about the Super Bowl and our thoughts and predictions. But yeah, Eagles, Chiefs, New Orleans, let's get it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So, with all that being said, let us know down in the comment section below if your predictions came true, because my prediction did not come true. So, if it did, then congratulations. And if you're a fan of either of those teams, congratulations, I guess. Yay, go us with the number one overall pick, baby. Number one.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jose, do you have anything else for our wonderful, wonderful listeners?
Per always, appreciate you guys for listening, especially if you stayed to the very end. We're going to continue to keep these videos coming. Just a FYI, if you decided to stick around, I know this is going to sound really bad considering we have a freaking football podcast, but it's just the way the dice roll. So I actually got last place in the fantasy football. So I got to do a punishment. And what the punishment is, it'll be, you'll have to wait and see what the video is. But I'm
That's
actually
right.
excited to do the video. I'm gonna make it very entertaining.
And more
But
than
just keep
likely, of
your eyes
course, your
peeled.
boy's going to be there too,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. I'm probably gonna wait until the weather gets warmer here in Oklahoma. So look out for the springtime, summertime. Once that comes around, then let's just say I'm gonna embarrass myself pretty good. But other than that, that's all I got, Sauce.
You know, speaking on that real quick, I was looking through our older episodes and stuff, and I saw I saw our episode of Fantasy Football for Dummies, and just for perspective, I finished in like 10th place. So we got the loser and then the third worst loser giving out fantasy football advice. So maybe we should retire from doing that.
Maybe. But in all honesty, off topic, but if you guys are still sticking around, thank you. But I was actually going through some of the old videos that we shot for fantasy football advice, and I want to say we hit on 80% of them.
Yep.
So we'll do
So
some more episodes
who
talking
knows?
about some of them, but yeah.
Definitely. So with all that being said, make sure you check us out on all the different platforms. I always forget which platforms we're on. I think we're still on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. I can't remember the others,
Spotify.
but also, real quick, myself and my fiance, we started a candle company.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember starting anything.
So yeah, if you are interested in candles, then check out. I'll just put a link in the description below because we don't have like a legit like website name. It's one of those extended names, and I really don't feel like saying it all out loud because I might get it wrong anyway. So if you are into candles, check it out. So yeah, with all that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
Peace.